All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Right.
Today, we are getting into something that I think a lot of people are familiar with,
Okay.
but maybe not familiar with all the nuances, and that is waterproofing.
Waterproofing?
Exactly. And
Interesting.
we have some sources that we're going to dig through today,
Okay.
and they're in both Canada and English.
Oh, cool.
And the information that we found is essentially the same
Yeah.
in both languages.
Right.
So we're going to be kind of taking a holistic approach to this.
Got it.
And hopefully, by the end of this, you will know a little bit more about waterproofing than when you started.
Oh, looking forward to it.
So to get started with this,
Yeah.
what is waterproofing? I mean, I think we all have a general sense of it.
Right. It's keeping water out.
Right.
Right. But I
Uh,
think in a more technical sense,
Sure.
waterproofing is really a process that makes surfaces resistant to the penetration of water.
Okay, so
So we're making a surface essentially impenetrable.
it's almost like a shield or a barrier.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a protective layer
Yeah.
that prevents water from seeping through.
Like a castle wall.
Yes, exactly. A
After-
castle wall designed to repel invaders.
Exactly.
In this case, the invader is water.
Right. So I think we've all probably seen the effects of what happens when water gets into places it's not supposed to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, growing up, I had a leak in my ceiling,
Mhm.
and it would just kind of drip every time it rained.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of the bigger implications of this, besides just an annoying drip?
Right. Well, I mean, obviously that drip can lead to much bigger problems.
Sure.
You mentioned a leak in your ceiling that could eventually lead to structural damage.
Right.
You could have rotting wood.
Yeah.
You could even have, concrete spalling.
What is spalling? I don't even know what that is.
So concrete spalling is essentially where the surface of the concrete starts to flake off or crumble.
Wow.
And that's caused by, water penetrating the concrete.
So the water gets in, freezing and thawing, and it expands and contracts, and it just breaks down the concrete.
So it's almost like it's breaking up the concrete from the inside out.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this can compromise the structural integrity of your building.
Right. I mean, that sounds like a really, really big deal.
Absolutely. And, not to mention the health implications.
Right.
You get mold growth in damp areas, and that can lead to all sorts of respiratory problems and allergies.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're not just talking about protecting our buildings, but we're also talking about protecting our health.
So it seems like there's a bigger picture here than just like, keeping water out.
Absolutely. It's about creating a safe,
Right.
healthy, and durable living environment.
So I think that leads us to the next question.
Yeah.
Where is waterproofing even used?
Right.
Like, I don't think I'm waterproofing my bedroom.
Right. Well, you might be surprised.
Okay.
Moisture can be a problem in any area of your home.
Okay.
But there are certain key areas where waterproofing is absolutely crucial. Well, for instance, your foundations.
Okay.
The foundation is your base, your first line of defense against moisture coming up from the ground.
So we're talking about the very bottom of the house.
Exactly. The concrete slab that your house sits on.
Okay, got it. What else?
Your roof, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That's your shield against rain, snow, and the elements.
Right, because that's the part of your house that is the most exposed.
Exactly.
Right.
Then you have your basement.
The basement.
Yes, especially if you have a basement that's below ground level.
Right.
Water can seep in through the walls and the floor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, of course, your bathrooms.
Bathrooms. Oh, yeah.
Think about all that water and moisture.
Right, showers and sinks.
You've got to have proper waterproofing in your bathrooms to prevent leaks and water damage.
Yeah, because even if it's just a little bit of water over time, that can really cause a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about where these things are used or where the waterproofing is done, but how is it actually done?
Right. So there's not just one way to waterproof.
Yeah.
It really depends on the area you're trying to protect.
Okay.
For example, on roofs, you'll often find something called liquid membranes.
Liquid membranes.
Yeah, basically imagine like a giant waterproof sticker for your roof.
Okay.
It's a seamless rubber-like layer that completely seals the roof surface.
So it's like a big sheet?
Exactly. And it prevents any water from penetrating.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then for basements where the challenge is to keep water from seeping in from the ground, you might use cementitious coatings.
Cementitious coatings.
Yeah, these are basically cement-based mixtures
Okay.
that are applied to create a waterproof barrier
It's like an extra layer of cement.
right on the walls and the floor.
Okay, so it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's not like a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
Okay. But I'm guessing all this waterproofing doesn't come cheap.
You're right. It is an investment,
Yeah.
but I think the sources really emphasize
That it's an investment that pays off in the long run.
In what way?
well, think about it. The cost of waterproofing your basement might seem significant now,
Right.
but compare that to the cost of repairing a flooded basement.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking new drywall, flooring mold remediation.
All that stuff.
Suddenly, waterproofing seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly.
You spend a little bit more up front, but you potentially avoid major headaches
Right.
down the road.
Exactly. And not just financial savings,
Right.
but also peace of mind.
Sure.
Knowing that your home is protected.
So really, waterproofing isn't just some niche topic in the construction world.
Right.
It's something that has a lot of implications, not only for our property,
Right.
but also for our health.
Absolutely.
And as we've kind of discovered in this deep dive, it might actually save us money in the long run.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
So, would you consider waterproofing an essential part of home maintenance? Or just a luxury?
I think that's a question for our listeners to decide. But at least now they have a little bit more information
Oh,
than when they started.
that's what we're aiming for.
So thank you all for joining us for another deep dive. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.